Hey y'all, this is David, the Georgia photographer. Everything in this scene is the reason I came to this location today. The first reason was this is an amateur radio, and y'all all know I'm an amateur radio operator. It's currently running on its own. It's running a program called f2.8. But behind it, the other reason I came out today, I figured that if I was going to get any fall colors like these, then I was going to have to come out to a place where there was some water. This river, stream, creek, whatever you call it, still has flowing water in it down there. Because there's flowing water, the trees have moisture and they can turn their colors. Instead of just turning brown and dying and the leaves falling off, you're getting fall colors. So that's the reason I came to this place. This is known as North Chickamauga Creek Wildlife Management Area. And typically in the summertime, this river is full of people just playing in the water. And there's a bunch of parking spaces and things like that. I've been here before, but I've never come here to photograph colors. One of my main subjects today is going to be that maple tree, because I'm really interested in just that red with all the yellow and green around it. It's pretty standalone-ish, so I'm going to try to capture that best I can. And we're going to see how that edits out. And then I'm going to go down into the river basin and work my way up the river some, maybe shoot a few frames down around the water and get some water in some frames, and we'll see what that turns out like as well. But yeah, we got some bright reds here, and that's really good. Bright reds and yellows contrast and go together really well. When you decide on what your subject's going to be, the next thing you got to do is figure out what focal length you're going to use and how far to be away from it. And I want to be far enough back to get the tree plus some of the canopy above it and some beside it in both directions, because I may end up doing this on a 16:9 just to kind of get the whole panorama, you might say. What I want to do next is I want to shoot at a pretty high shutter speed. So I brought my tripod, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going to need it. I believe I can shoot this handheld. I want to shoot at 1/1000th because the wind's blowing a little bit and I want to freeze that movement. And I'm pretty sure a 1 millisecond shutter speed will freeze it sufficiently to make me happy. By the way, the one day that it's gonna rain any in the last like 3 weeks turns out to be today, here for like the next hour. There's some dark clouds blowing over. Like at home this morning, it was fine. There was no rain in the forecast. But now that I'm here to do a landscape photo outside, it decides it's threatening to rain. Hasn't started yet, but it's gonna rain because I'm here. Today's camera of choice is the Leica SL2, of course, because of its high megapixel sensor and its ability to be adapted to any lens I have basically in my arsenal. Currently it's wearing the 50mm SL, and I'm gonna take a test shot with that and see what it looks like, and then I may go to 28mm right after that. Okay, what I've come to conclude is that 28mm suits this environment way better. The tree's right there, but right in front of it is a yellow maple tree. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move uphill until more of the tree is exposed and maybe the perimeters are a little bit occluded. There's a little green oak here in front and there's some yellow and brown, but now more of the tree is exposed. Let's see what that looks like. Today I'm shooting with the Nikkor 28mm f2.8 AiS, as I'm shooting slightly underexposed so the sky won't be blown out. I'm trying to protect the highlights. I'll be honest with you, sometimes time of day makes a big difference. When I first got here, the light was coming in and there was an opening in the trees and it was lighting up that tree and you could see it. It was kind of just standing out. And now that everything's overcast and the sun's in a different place, the tree doesn't stand out quite so well. We'll see how this turns out. Oh, and there's some red up there too. Maybe I should index and get all the red in the middle. Let's see what that looks like. I'm running 28mm settings for AiS, in-body image stabilization. So that basically makes this a stabilized lens in essence. But I'm shooting at f8, I'm shooting at 1/320th of a second, and I'm floating the ISO. It's running a little over 1,000 because there's no sun and it's not real bright now. And people have been going up and down this gravel road right here, and they've stirred up the dust, and the dust is starting to waft through the area. So now I'm gonna get like a foggy haze on everything, unfortunately. Next thing I'm gonna do is go down here to the creek, and I'm gonna get some photos of the riverbed and see what that looks like. Oh yeah, that's incredible. Oh yeah, I have a pool, a huge rock, and tons of color with a moody sky. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, personally, I don't want to kill the reflection on the water. Had I brought a circular polarizer, you can, depending on the sun's angle, because that matters because of the polarization of the light, and you can kill some of this reflection on the water. But I don't want the reflection gone. I want it there so you can tell it's water, and it just doesn't look like a darker place in the rocks because the water's not moving very fast, so it's really still. And by getting that reflection, you can see that the water's actually there. You have this enormous rock right here. You have the water, all of this color, and then this moody sky up here, which you can't really tell in the video real good, but it's overcast real heavy, and it's the clouds are going to be pretty moody. It's going to look really cool. Yeah, this is some really colorful trees. I'm really impressed with the color change that's happened here. I'm gonna move up one more time to right about that rock and shoot all of this red right here across the creek with this big rock in the corner of the frame. At least that's the way my mind is seeing it. Let's see if we can do this without getting killed. I got a camera in one hand and the video camera in the other. So I do not have that rock wobbles. I do not have a free hand to catch myself if I fall. So we'll just take our time here. All right. Yeah, let's see what that looks like. Yeah, I kind of like what the camera's seeing. Okay, let's see what this photo looks like. Well, thank you for coming along with me on my little trip to see some fall colors and to try and photograph them and come away with a decent image this year. Every year I try to go out and do at least one fall color photo of some kind. It's just kind of a thing now. Aaron kind of got me started doing that a bunch of years ago when we did our first trip to Gatlinburg. And I've just enjoyed doing it ever since. If you've never tried to capture fall colors, it's kind of a challenge sometimes. It really is. Some years you don't have much water. Some years you have too much water and the rain beats the leaves off the trees before you can see them. It's kind of an interesting little thing to do. So until next time, get your camera out and go take a picture with it. I appreciate you coming along. We'll see y'all later. Oh yeah, hey, if you want to, you can buy me a cup of coffee. The link's in the description. So just throwing that out there. We'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.